So we're here today with Clara, who's a marketing assistant at William Breed, and we're going to talk about how marketing was affected during lockdown and Clara herself in general. Clara, how has lockdown in general been for you?
So actually, generally, it's been like quite like good. Well, good in some ways, but like at first, I think it was pretty like daunting. But I think that was the same probably for everyone, just like not knowing how long it's gonna be, or like how long it's gonna be until you see your friends and whatever. Because obviously, I mean, I didn't see my friends for literally months and months before because they were at uni and everything. So that was like a hard thing, I think, for me. But overall, I think it was good because it made me like get into exercise, and I cooked like way more. Um, and I still got to like do Zoom quizzes and everything with everyone. So yeah, I think overall it wasn't as bad as like you initially thought it was going to be.
Sure.
But yeah, I think.
So how did you first get into marketing?
So I was first like interested, I'd say, in marketing properly at college. Like when I did my business A level, that was probably when I first learned more in depth about it. But I mean, I've always been kind of interested in, because I'm like such a like foodie and I love travel and things like that. So the behind the scenes of everything, like restaurants to food companies, that's always interested me, like the behind the scenes of how they market everything and the branding. So I think yeah, it's always been in my mind of like something I'd want to get into. Plus, because it's like half creative, half so analytical, I guess. So you get a bit of both with that. So yeah, but I'd say as I first started getting into it properly in college. So yeah, I'd recommend like doing at least doing like business A level if you wanted to get into marketing, because I think that really helped. Yeah.
Yes, if you work at William Reed, what does your job role like specifically include? Sort of what are you looking over?
Yeah, so I from day to day it really differs, but I mean I'm marketing assistant specifically for exhibitions. So this basically entails like it's business to business, or B2B as you would say. So we, in my job specifically, we market these exhibitions to businesses like restaurants, farm shop owners, deli owners, cafes, for them to come and look at the products, look at the other companies, and see like if they want to buy into it, basically. So day to day, it's just basically like email marketing, social media marketing, and then also talking a lot to the people that exhibit there, which is really fun because you get to meet new people all the time. And then like obviously this year there wasn't any exhibitions because of COVID, but next year we've got how many shows have we got in April? I think we've got 6 shows in April over 3 days, and then we've got one in June and then one in September. So next year will be like super busy, but yeah, it should be really fun.
Has your job role sort of had to change and adapt as COVID has come along? Because obviously you do exhibitions and they're not happening right now. Sort of have you found yourself having different jobs to do?
Yeah, I mean, definitely like my role has been affected in some sort of way. I mean, at the beginning, when we first went into lockdown and first started working from home, it was very quiet at that time, just because, I mean, everything had been cancelled, like all of our exhibitions. So there wasn't a lot of work to do that year, which, I mean, it was kind of scary at some points because I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. Um, and also our team has got slightly smaller. So now my role has actually got busier and I've got even more work to do because I'm taking on like other people's responsibilities, which I'm really enjoying at the moment. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like how it's really specifically changed. I guess because we've had no events this year. Um, we've got an online event in September, and like our main event in September is the restaurant show, and basically we have like this competition called the National Chef of the Year, which is a massive competition. Like Gordon Ramsay's won it before, for example, and that's all going online. So I'm going up to London, I think, in 2 weeks to film all of that. So meet all the chefs, and it'll be interesting to see how that's changed from past years because we've never ever done this before. So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think as well, working from home, that's definitely made things change, and I think most people are enjoying it. I mean, I'm certainly enjoying working from home, and I don't think we'll be going back till January. So yeah, just not having the interaction with people, I guess that's kind of changed the dynamic of my job.
So you work on exhibitions, and obviously they're not going to be running until like next year. But has there been discussion about how they're going to change in terms of like distancing, anything like that? Has that been discussed or?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, like I said before, we've got like an online event of what would have been an exhibition this year, for like going over a week, and then yeah, when hopefully they do go all back up next year, and hopefully by April everything will be fine, but there'll obviously definitely be stuff in place. Yeah, so where the exhibitors are, they're usually like right directly next to each other on their stands, whereas now I think we've had to allow for more space. So I think the halls are slightly bigger. And then I think there's one-way systems for people to walk around. And I mean, not all of this has been discussed yet, but obviously our exhibitions involve food and drink, and usually everything involves tasting and stuff like that. So that hasn't been discussed, but I assume there'll definitely be higher like precautions on what you can taste, like gloves, masks, things like that. But yeah, there'll definitely be big changes, I think.
How do you think COVID has generally affected the marketing world? Like, has the industry taken a big hit, or is it still sort of thriving?
Mhm. Yeah, I think the industry in general, depending on like what your job role specifically is, um, it has changed a lot. I mean, for the start period of lockdown, I think it took some people a lot to get used to it because it's more everything's going online now, whereas before, like people were meeting face to face, or say there'd be like even newspaper marketing, things like that, but literally everything is going online. So there's an even bigger kind of, what's the word? Can't think of the word. Um, well, basically, social media is becoming like more prominent. I think prominent is the word. Um, yeah, so social media is even more important in people's jobs, and just email marketing and getting people like digitally, because people aren't going out as much. So it's really, really important to market things as well as you can online. But yeah, I think, yeah, just the industry in general actually has probably been doing quite well, because everyone now needs to really have a strong brand, to like get back on their feet, kind of thing. So yeah, I think marketing is really important at the moment.
So my final question to you is, if someone who's watching this is looking to get into the marketing world, whether that be like going for interviews, applying for jobs, or
Mhm.
like going into college, do you have any tips for them and sort of like finding the place that suits them in the market?
Yeah, I mean, because marketing is obviously such a broad thing, and you could, depending on what you're interested in, like for me, it was food and drink and travel and everything. So whether it's fashion or food or travel, whatever, just make sure you find that first, like what you're interested in, because I think like if you start at the bottom, you want to work your way up in a good company. And yeah, I'd say like over lockdown, for example, I've been doing loads of like online courses. So I've done there's this thing on LinkedIn that I think if you are looking to get into marketing, it's a really good tool to have. It's called LinkedIn Learning. I get it through the company, but if you are just getting into it, I think it's not that expensive at all. And there's literally thousands of like digital marketing courses and videos that people put on themselves for you to watch, whether it's social media, emails, whatever. And they're just really handy. And yeah, with interviews, I'd say another like really important thing with marketing is that you're like quite a good people person, I would say. So just make sure you're like quite chatty, bubbly. I think that's always, I mean, for any interview really, that's a good quality to have. But I think in marketing especially, you want to like market yourself well. So I think that's really important, and also to research the company that really kind of clued up on anything like I struggle with, but I always like try and make up one before I'd have an interview. Yeah, that's it really.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us.
That's all right, thank you.
And hopefully things will get better for the exhibition industry.
Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope so. Thank you.